Okay, well first I want to start with mechanic. I think the first thing on this list, at least to me, the thing that's the most important, mechanic. I'm gonna drag this over pieces. So I want to start with mechanic. Now this is gonna be a tough one. I like the way GI functions. Undernet themes are really good, yeah. Okay, how do I write this? I'm trying to figure out how to write this. Return of GI. Return GI without lethal hit 50/50s. Maybe I can just put without 50/50. I want to keep them lethal hit. I'm cool with keeping them lethal, but I don't want lethal hit 50/50s. I don't want there to be a non-GIable, a re-GIable move that gives a lethal hit, and then the un-GIable move that gives a lethal hit. That's fucking stupid. That's dumb. That's really dumb. Because it necessarily rewards you for being on defense. Yeah, I like lethal hits too. I don't think that the GI 50/50 lethal hits are. I think that everyone's 50/50 hit should be removed, including Zos. Zos has one. He has A plus B or 6/6 B plus K. I don't like it. I don't like it as a mechanic. It's really silly. Let's see if I'm trying not to take up too much space. I guess we could just say RE. I'm sure you guys know what RE is, right? There we go. RE becomes a Tekken style power card. I don't like the way that RE currently functions. I think RE is, it's not that bad. Like, it's annoying to play against, but it's not like something that's gonna make you not want to play the game. You just get used to it and you play the game if you like it. But I don't think that it's fun or healthy. I think that there's better ways to do some sort of a parry that makes it so that your opponent has to play around it constantly. And I think Power Crushes from Tekken is a perfect example, right? Revenge attacks. I think revenge attacks are like the perfect example. So if you look at like not Nightmare's revenge. Who's revenge? We're thinking of Astroth's revenge. Astroth can take one hit of damage, and after that, the revenge is broken, right? And then the second thing that you can do is a low, and the third thing you can do is you a throw, right? And the reason why I'm saying Tekken style Power Crush is because I want it to be so that if you use a throw to beat someone's defensive option, their current reversal it, right? Now that's an interesting one. Haven't heard it before. How would it be different from normal armored moves besides it being universal? No different. I want all armored moves to start acting this way. If your move is armored, right? If you use a throw on it, the throw is untechable. You counterplayed their armor with a throw, and that's exactly what revenge is supposed to lose to. But then you can still tech the throw, and I think it's really unintuitive because it's supposed to be one of the ways that you counter someone using armor is by throwing them. Throw them, you use multi-hits, except in the case of Nightmare because Night Terror Charge, haha, or you use lows. So I think that maybe they could up the amount of hits it takes to break armor, right? On the generic ones, maybe 2 hits, 3, 2 hits probably. So if you do a full string, if you do a full string and you're using it in neutral, not as a way to deter someone from using a full string, right? So say they are doing the first hit of a string and you get hit by the first hit, and then you use your armored move to break through the second. Okay, say you're in neutral and you're scared and you just throw out the armored move and they use the first hit and the second hit, it breaks through. So it becomes like this game of you need to know when to use it instead of just throwing it out willy-nilly. Same way a lot of people, if at the higher levels of play, you see a lot of people use GIs and strings to deter people from fishing. I think that would be really healthy for reversal edge, and it'd probably make it a better mechanical. This one really matters. Guessing they'd be vulnerable to break attacks and unblockable still, of course, surely. Fine. Now, Soul Charge is minus on block and on whiff. This. Soul Charge is kind of like a DP. Okay, it's that get off me option, burst your opponent back, push you guys back to neutral, or you can even use it at the end of a combo to splats. Right? So when we look at Soul Charge, there's really no downside to Soul Charge because you have iframes after the Soul Charge sparks. Now, what I'd like to see is for them to make it so that it's whiff punishable. It means people will not be using it in ranges where they can get punished for it. They will only be using it in ranges where you can potentially block it. So if they see the start of a move and they don't want to deal with an incoming mix-up after, Soul Charge. Idea. They're risking the ultimate counterplay, which is hook up guard. So many people do, right? It's a very strong and safe option. It's one of the smartest options in the game at high level. Everyone does it. There will be moments in time where you're just going to see two players walk up to each other. Now, Soul Charge was punishable on whiff and block, minus on whiff and block. And when I say minus, make it less of a good joke. Yes, exactly. So when I say minus on block and on whiff, I mean punishable. Now, on block, maybe not like launch punishable. Maybe something like an I-14 punishable, I-12 punishable. You get a little bit of damage on top and you get some additional frames and you punished it. Now, they are still in their Soul Charge. Cool. I have no problem with it. Soul Charge, like, yeah, there are some Soul Charges that need to be toned down, but that's like a balance thing. I just want to talk about mechanics specifically on that. And then on whiff, you should be able to kill them. You should be able to get like whatever your biggest fucking whiff punish combo is. It's like if someone whiffs a DP in Street Fighter V, you just crush counter the bitch ass and they die. That is how it should be. Same with like armored moves in Mortal Kombat. They whiff something big like that, they usually die. That's like normally a sign of good game design, and a Soul Charge currently is a sign of very bad game. And it promotes really unhealthy and slow play, because when someone Soul Charges, most of the time, you just want to run away from them. You want to get the fuck away from them so that you don't have to deal with whatever offensive mix-ups they gained or offensive pressure they gained, and you just want to let timer run. You want to timer scam their Soul Charge. Okay. I think that's a fair assessment. I don't know if there's any additional. There is. I want Brave Edges back. I want more ways to spin meter other than Soul Attack, Soul Charge, Soul Attack, Soul Charge, and RI. Those are the only ways to spin meter. That's it. Soul Attack, Soul Charge, RI, and CE. Right, so there's 4 ways to spin meter. 4. 2 of them cost a full bar. Soul Attack, Soul Charge, RI, E. Yes, like Yoshimitsu's Brave Edges. Yoshimitsu's Brave Edges were not normal. They weren't. They're not normal in this game, but they were normal in Soul Calibur 5. Soul Calibur 5, everyone had Brave Edges. I'm speaking of mechanics first, so I'm talking about mechanics before any online features and/or casual thing. I'll talk online features. But I don't want RE gone. I want RE changed. I think that having a plethora of defensive options, like a rich amount of defensive options, is okay. I just think that the amount of defensive options that we have compared to the plays around them makes for a really slow game. Makes for a really slow game. A lot of situations. That's the only problem with RE. If RE did not lead to a fucking Injustice style clash where it's a literal rock paper scissors, then it would be a lot better of a mechanic. Just to make it just a normal armor move. Make it a revenge. Would you give Yoshi a new gimmick? Probably a stab gimmick. If we're keeping lethal hits, which I do want to keep lethal hits. if we're keeping lethal hits, and I want to, I think that maybe just give him some sort of a stab gimmick where if he stabs himself during a round, he gets like a few moves that become lethal hits that aren't normally lethal, and you can reset that every round. Now that's a cool little gimmick, yes, but I mean that's not essentially. I just want lethal hits. I like lethal hits. I don't think that there's too many lethal hits that all kind of cover the same thing, and it's like sidestep a vertical, duck under a high, you crush a low. Like there's a lot of lethal hits like that, but they show you like your good options to cover those, and I think that those are okay, right? I think that like those things aren't too bad. It's the meter gain. It's the meter gain that's really a problem, because sometimes you get someone with a lethal combo and you end up with like half a bar or 3/4 of a bar, depending on how long your combo. And that's something that can be kind of obnoxious and an issue, especially when you have your opponent down to the last little bit, they hit with the lethal combo, and then now after that they're just going to go ahead and go into a soul charge that is unplayed in this current version of Soul Calibur 6. You cannot play around a soul charge. You can RI it, but they're still in soul charge, right? They're still in soul charge. It's very frustrating. It'd be nicer if it was just with punishable. I don't think that there's any other. Ooh. Okay, so this one's an interesting one to explain. What about limiting CEs to finishers? No, I'm totally A-okay with CE. Now, here's my problem with CE. CEs currently, most of them are very generic. There's a few CEs that function differently, like Column CE, Pocky CE, a Yoshi CE, a Za CE, what else? Ivy CE, right? The vast majority of the rest of the cast is using their CE as an I-16 blocker with them. I don't want that. I want CEs to actually kind of mean something like they did in Soul Calibur 6. Right? I mean, Soul Calibur 5. In Soul Calibur 5, but remove the safe ones. In Soul Calibur 5, different characters had different purposes for their RE. Leisha, Xianghua, God bless her soul, she had a really fast CE. Her critical edge was very fast, and it was meant to be a counter hit tool, or it was meant to be a counter hit tool, or it was meant to, at Nightmare CE. Thank you, that's another good one. It was meant to be a counter hit tool, right? Like a check that does a fuck ton of damage, or it was meant to be a whip punish. Alpha Patroclus, his was a hit confirm tool, because you could hit confirm an off counter hit 2A, right? Cool. Ivy, hers was a counter. Patroclus, his was a standard CE, but could ring out. It didn't just lead to a normal situation. Natsu CE, you could combo off of. Kind of, you see where I'm going with this? Like, there was so many CEs. Lizardman CE was like fucking almost. Aeon's, he kind of rolled across the floor. Now, I wish that they would bring back Survey CE. Was stupid. Was exactly stupid. I wouldn't say it was a mistake, but it was just way too good, right? But I like those CEs like that. It didn't do that much damage compared to how much damage it does now, but it just killed you from anywhere on the screen. It hit you from anywhere on the screen, just like Yoshi's does, but was way faster. I like those styles. I actually do, because they make the character more unique. Instead of just giving them a standard tool, I find most CEs in 5 are like in 6 except Serve. No, there was a lot of, I just named like 5 CEs that were different. No, because can you ring out with any CEs in Soul Calibur 6? You can't ring out with a single CE. But either way, I want the CEs to be significantly more unique, right? Like, so characters like Talum, you can keep her a crazy weird CE that she can cancel. Yeah, Talum. Talum's can, but that's because she can cancel it. You see how weird hers is? Hers is not normal. It's very unique. It's very unique. It's not normal. So shut up with that argument. It's not, her CE is not normal. That's the only CE in the game that does that. Just like Alphabet had that, right? But his only rung out at the end of the animation. It didn't have a cancel. Some CEs were combo tools. Some CEs were counters, were round finishers, were enders, were whip punishes. There was more variation in the types of CEs that existed. Now it's almost always whip punish or block punish or a counter, right? It's a counter, but it's a whip punish or block punish. Those are like the two types. And then there's Golem. You know? There's Astaroth, who's very different, and I also think the Astaroth CE is pretty cool, right? Reactable / unreactable, very powerful. But I would like for people CEs that are more generic. I don't mind a few whiff punish CE, a few block punish CE, but I think that most of them shouldn't be. And if they are whiff punish CEs, they shouldn't also be block punish CEs. I think that them being I-16, this is going to be controversial. I think that CEs being I-16 is really bad for the health of the game. It makes it so that moves have to be -16 or less. They have to balance the game around the fact that with a bar of meter, if you're -16, you get CE'd. So they made so many more moves that in older games would have been more minus, less minus, which makes the game really fucking busted. Don't have meter. Down with skewed situations and generic tools, up with defined and varied character traits. Nice. Yes, because Soul Calibur 6, I don't know if you noticed, everyone kind of has a little gimmick in Soul Calibur 6. I like the way they pushed that, but they still left all these CEs that are super generic, right? They did. I would rather see more uniqueness, like really show like what this character's personality is in their moves, in all of their moves, right? Because Mina's personality doesn't show in her fucking CE. The words do, but it doesn't in like the way that her CE functions. I feel like I-16 for CE is fine. Look, see, but that's the problem, Tab. The only reason why that's a problem is because they made it so the characters do have weak I-16 punishes because their CE will be I-16. If their CE wasn't I-16, more moves could be more minus. You're not taking that into account. More moves would be significantly more minus if CEs weren't I-16. There are so many lows in Soul Calibur 6 that in other games would have been launch punishable. They're not in this one because CE exists, so they just made a -16, or they made a -14, or they made a -12, right? -12 is very uncommon. It's usually -14, -16, -18. They did that because of the fact that CEs are I-16. Don't like. You have to look at it. Don't look at it in a bubble. Look at it in a vacuum. Because what it does is it actually changes the entire game. There's indeed some messed up I-16 punishment to you. No, for sure, 100%. But I do think that CE being I-16 limits the data of the game. Really, really limits. There could be more moves like that just do crazy damage as your I-16 instead of your. Everyone in Tekken almost, right, has some sort of an I-15, I-16 like hop kick launcher or like launcher, right? They're down forward 2, they're up forward 3. They all kind of have something like that. But they don't use their rage art for that. There's way too much safe stuff in yeah, that's fine. But it takes skill, you're not just pressing one button. And it also makes it so that your character has more varied moves. Anyways, I think that's the end of the mechanic section. There's not really anything else I want to see with Soul Calibur 6. I think that like guard crushes are fine. I guess I should put that. I don't mind guard crushes. I don't mind. What else was I thinking? The throw break system out when you're minus, when you throw someone they're minus, and you use a command throw. -12 doesn't mean much until you fight an X and then it's life or death or staticism. See, that's a problem. But that's because hers is supposed to be a block punish. That's A-okay. That's a unique CE technically because it's the only CE in the game that's gonna punish you on block for -12. Different. Online/matchmaking. That's what we're gonna get to next. I think the first thing I want to start with is Rollback Netcode. Do I have to? Are you guys gonna argue on this one? No, right? Without clock syncing. There, better. Cool. Everyone okay with this one? I don't think anyone's gonna disagree with this, right? Rollback Netcode. Rollback Netcode! KOF 15! Yeah, that's why I put without clock syncing issue. That's the issue that all these current games that are getting rollback are having. Now, the reason I want a casual queue and a ranked queue is because ranked has just become casual queue. A lot of players, right? A lot of the better players, they're just like, well, I don't know what else to do. Let me queue up for ranked. Rollback in 3D games is a slippery slope. It's working just fine in Soul Calibur 1. It's working just fine in Soul Calibur 1. What are you talking about? There's no game that rollback won't work. People made the same argument with Guilty Gear. They're like, oh no, Guilty Gear is too fast to have rollback, and then Strive got rollback, and everyone's like, yo, this is sick. Pulsar got rollback, and everyone was like, yo, this is sick. As long as it's implemented well, it should be okay. Strive is a slower game, but it's plus R. No, it's not, so please shut the fuck up, Tab. Compared to older GGs, yes. But it's not compared to, and it's doing fine. And BBCF is also fast. So is Melty Blood. Melty Blood's not doing fine, they're having clock sync. But when the clock sync issues are not happening, faster games are A-okay to have rollback. And also, Guilty Gear Strive isn't still inherently that slow compared to a game like Soul. It's again, bad argument. Super stupid take. Bad. If it's implemented well, rollback will work because they even use rollback solutions in games like League of Legends. But they force the ping and the rollback only on you, not on the other players. And that's the same thing that I think they're trying to do with Project L. They said that like if your connection's bad, you'll be the one suffering the rollback. So it's like one-sided rollbacks, but like the best kind, where you're not ruining someone else's experience because you got shit net. Or shit hardware, but not shit. I think that Casa should be. Let's just get down to it, right? Casa's better ranked. Okay. Right. I don't really think there's like too much more for online. I think this one's kind of important. People with bad net get fucked. Gotta love it. Yeah, exactly. I think this one's a little important. Online matchmaking / lobby. So, I don't know what FH is. You're gonna have to. You need to do a little better than FH. I don't know what the fuck that is. So if we actually get rollback netcode, which would be sick. I think that all fighting games going forward would have rollback netcode. If we get rollback netcode, online practice mode / online practice mode in a lobby, like being able to be in training in a lobby with another player, sounds perfect because it makes it a lot easier to teach people stuff. And it makes it a lot easier to progress the game. Good thing. That's kind of it for like online. I don't really think that there's too much that needs to happen to the online. Like the player base is the reason why our matchmaking can come. For Honor, thanks. And it's 3D. Hey. Oh, so show for you. Give 2. I don't really know what to put here, right? I didn't think about this for too long, but this one's really easy. SC3 Yoshi, I'm not putting, that's like not something I'm not putting. I disagree with No More Big Titty Sig for Giant Lizard Cock and Rank, but that's just my opinion, and your opinion is absolutely wrong. You can hold that L. You hold that shit, because you're wrong. Absolutely wrong. Okay? Just letting you know. Survival mode, arcade mode endings, that'd be nice. Yes, I have to put this in all caps because we need a real story mode. I think that a real story mode would be very nice. Let me go ahead and put one more thing up here. I think there's one thing we're missing. This is probably very important. And now it's hard for me to understand why this is important because like I'm already pretty decent. For those who aren't, I think that a fleshed out tutorial really helps a lot of people transition from casual to better at the game and or competitive. So that's a-okay with me. I don't want to talk about like characters. Comes back the RPG mode thing, Soul Calibur. The thing from Soul Calibur 3, I really liked that mode. But like, there's so much that has to go into that, and that takes resources away from developing a game that's good. That's why Soul Calibur 3 was fucking shit. So I'm not asking for all that. I'm asking for a real story mode, an arcade ending, survival mode, and a fleshed out tutorial. Right, that would be nice. It would be pretty cool. But most casual players criticize the lack of cutscenes, so that's important. That's why I put a real story mode and arcade endings. Would you look at that? I already addressed it. Yay. Yay, a real story mode. I already addressed it. But bringing back the RPG mode thing, that requires a whole separate dev team. Or that the devs be ripped away from balancing the game and making it function properly. To make that thing. That's, like I said, that is why Soul Calibur 3 was shit. They focused a lot of time on that. I thought it was a really dope mode, but it was rushed for consoles, and they focused on, is it called Chronicles of the Soul? Is it called Chronicles of the Sword? Or Chronicles of the Soul, or is it called Soul Chron? I forgot what it's called. But the thing from Soul Calibur 3, very good mode. I like that, like tactical RPG mode. I thought it was really cool. I did. But putting something like that into a game requires either more money or more manpower. And saying that they're gonna have those things is a fucking, it's a fool's errand. Assume that they'll have those. Really. I think that looking at these things here, this is probably the things that I want the most. Maybe like even better. I have one more thing I want to add. These don't have to be balanced. I don't care. Classes aren't allowed in ranked. Like, who cares? Give the casuals back their way to make their super sick old. Yeah, we're on the same page. I know the RPG. I was talking about the SC6 one. Yeah, the SC6 mode is like okay. It's okay. But I think that like just having a fully featured story mode, like an actual storyline for the game would be, or maybe even having multiple stories, right? Like if this is to take place after 6, or maybe they reboot again, I don't fucking know. They have a recap of this game story, whatever it was supposed to be, and have an actual real story mode with like good cutscenes, and then they do the new story. They have like a pretty cool, right? But I think Soul Calibur 3 cost-style characters would be really cool. The reason why I say that is because it makes for a lot of different like matchups in the game, right? There's so many characters that were in Soul Calibur 3 just because of the fact that you could do the styles. You had like the great sword, the sword and shield, the kick edge, the greave edge, kick edge, whatever it's called, the fan, the tambourine, the ninja daggers. You had all those things. And they can kind of borrow, just like they did with Soul Calibur 3, from actual characters, but make those a little more unique so they don't feel exactly the same as they would from like the character they're based off of. They're not Soul of Taki, like I'm running around with a male Taki. SC6 does have a. Why not have them in ranked though? Because I just said that they don't have to be balanced. I don't care who works on them. A fucking 10-year-old could make these, and they could be absolutely busted. I don't care. Put them in fucking casualty. Who gives a fuck? Take your cool little cost that you made with your crazy giant greatsword and rainbow dick to casuals, please. Casual lobby. I think we need casual lobbies and casual queue, but I'm not gonna like mention lobbies because that's like normal. I don't think there's a single fighting game out right now that doesn't really have some sort of lobbies. The main thing that I wanted to talk about first was the mechanics. I think that's like the most important. Apologies. Also, whenever you create a character avatar, I don't know if you know this, but you can change their proportions, and when you do, it makes it so that sometimes their hitboxes are wonky, and that combos that would or wouldn't work on that character that you're basing them off of do now not work. That's kind of obnoxious when you're playing ranked and you're limited to. You should be limited to the characters that are actually usable in like a tournament. I have one more for the casuals because I love you guys. Let me say that and then preface this. I like the idea. That's why I make my cast at original size. Not everyone is you. Some people don't do that. Because some people don't do that because you're a good apple and the rest of the apples are bad. All the bad apples spoil the bun. Yeah, make it in front of casual play. Yeah, I think that it'd be cool to like play in the lobby and you can play against boss characters. So say they bring back a character like Night Terror. They bring back Solomel's ultimate form. What was it called? Abyss? They bring back Abyss. Or they have Abyss versus Nightmare. I mean, Night Terror versus fucking Inferno. That'd be sick. Like, casually, that'd be really cool to see. I think that would be dope. And that could be something that you could add in, like, casual lobbies online. I think that wouldn't make any. But, of course, that is still have those. I don't know if you guys want me to continue and, like, maybe make a list of characters that didn't make it into 6 I want to see in 7. And maybe just styles of characters that we've never had in a Soul Calibur game that I want to see in 7. But this is like the actual Midget Astaroth is the terror of online. I literally played against one on my way to S rank on PS4. It was hell. Fox v Bowser, I think that was his name. I beat him like 4-1, 4-0. I had a cool idea for guest characters. Yeah, guest characters would be cool, but I think that this is what we're gonna show for now. Maybe we'll make a separate video for that because, of course, this is going on the YouTubes. And if you're watching this on the YouTubes, thanks for watching. Please enjoy all of the weird shenanigans that I do on my channel. I just realized my microphone was super far away from me. Hope all of the audio was still good. Forgot to move it closer. Apologies. And like I said, if you're watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe. Tell me what you want to see. If you like Soul Calibur, if you want to see a Soul Calibur 7 and what you'd like to see in it, that would be sick. And thanks for watching. We'll see y'all next time. Peace.